Hey guys, it's AC. Welcome to my house. And today we're going to talk and learn about house flipping, remodeling, burring, the BRRRR strategy, buy, renovate, refinance, rent, repeat, BRRRR. Because we got an expert joining us today on the House of AC. Patrick Vincent's the owner and operator of Total Construction and Remodeling in Atlanta. Friend of mine, we've done dozens of deals together. He's helped me on my projects. I've helped him on his projects. He always finds a way to squeeze an extra dollar, as far as I know, he makes every deal work for him. So I want to pick his brain, share his knowledge with you, so that you can learn. Maybe you're interested in flipping homes. Maybe you're interested in burring. Maybe you just want to understand the pitfalls of projects, things that he avoids. And you always want to learn what an expert would avoid. Typically, that means they've learned to avoid this, and so you can learn from their lessons, their expensive lessons, and also things he looks for, where he finds the pot of gold inside of each property. Um, as always, thank you for tuning in live. I appreciate it. Feel free to ask all your questions in the comments, and we'll do our best to get to them. If you're watching this or listening to this later on the podcast or on YouTube or the House of AC Facebook page, I will also reply and I'll get answers for you. So if we miss anything or I don't say something or ask the right question or, we're here to help. Follow along at the House of AC. And let's bring in Patrick Vincents now, owner operator of Total Construction Remodeling. Patrick, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, Alan, for having me.
Yeah, good to see you. I want to pull up your website here, just so everyone, if you're in the Atlanta area, Total Construction Remodeling, we've done new construction deals, we've done smaller flips, you do it all. Can you kind of tell us how you got into the renovation business, Patrick?
Yes, of course. First, I'm start doing roofing. So my company do a lot of roofing in the area and outside the Atlanta. We are in Tennessee, in Kentucky, we are in Kansas City, Kansas City, Missouri. So we did a lot, a bunch of roofs, them, commercial roofing too. And then I come back here to Atlanta. I have a family. My family is growing, so I don't want to travel anymore. I'm start working in construction, and we start remodelings in the beginning, and then we start growing and growing, and we start working with single family homes. We work with the full houses, and then we do commercial, you know, constructions. And it was a very long way here, but we are happy, and to help people in different areas in residential and commercial, construction.
Right. So you do commercial roofing, residential roofing, and now I know I've seen you do new construction from the ground up. I've seen you take old ranches and 2-bedroom places, turn them into 5-bedroom beautiful homes throughout the Atlanta area. What are you've really taken your business and expanded it and gotten real estate investing. What are sort of things that you look for? If you see a home, you're out hunting on your next deal, personal deal. What sort of products are you looking for?
Well, one of the most important things for me is the location. You have to find a house. He is with the people wants to move or is coming. People wants to move because of different reasons. Then when I come to see the house, the first what I like to do is check her out the roof. First is the roof for me. The roof is a big investment. So what I want is, try to, you know, see what happened with this house from the beginning. And the first you need to do is the roof because it's the drive of the house. If the roof is bad condition, you need to replace the roof. The average roof cost is approximately $6,000, $7,000 for a small house. And then you go from there. You have already 6,000, 7,000 to spend in the roof, and then you just go inside and say, okay, well, this is the first $6,000, $7,000 I have to expend, and then you go inside to the house and you start checking. Start seeing what's going on there. If you see any unlevel floors, any cracks on the windows, any cracks on the doors, on the corners of the doors, any cracks of the ceiling, means the foundation, you have a problem in the foundation. So now it's another expense, and then, you see, okay, well, foundation, cracks, is going to cost me 10,000. It's average cost of the foundation. And then you're still walking and they're still checking everything. And then you see the electric, that you see go electric panel. You see the electric panel, it's a small panel, unupdated, it's an old house. Okay, we need to replace the panel. So this is another $6,000 over there. And then walk and go to the attic, see the AC unit, and you start, moving and discard everything little by little.
So I love this. So you look at the big ticket items because it's obviously going to be the most painful financially. The roof, the foundation, electrical panel. And you're saying, how do you know that a roof is 6,000 or 8,000, or a foundation is going to cost $10,000? What for someone who's just looking at a home and they know it needs work? How can they estimate these sort of expenses?
Okay, so when you go to the house and the house is a small house, probably we're talking about 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, one bath, or 2 bedrooms, 1.5 bath. This is like a probably 1,000 or 1,400 square foot. This is the average cost of these roofs. The cost of the roof for a 20 squares house is $6,000 approximately. This is many different. It depends of the quality of shingles you want to install, and this is depends of the contractor you're going to use to, but this is the average price. And how do you know you need a roof? This is a very important thing. You see the roof, you see the roof is faded, the granulates is getting out, and you see the roof is have a discoloration, and for the house you see it's old. You need a new roof. Before you put your money inside of the house and start remodeling everything, you need to dry your house. You need to put a new roof. So if have a storm or something happen there, your house is safe and you can keep working there without any problems. So the first step, if you already purchased the house, is change the roof. Now, if you want to resell the house, use a quality of shingles. The name is architectural shingles. Everybody use it. It's the most common shingles. It's better quality than the tree-top shingles, and it's look much better in your house.
Okay, so yes, the architectural shingles is probably what people think of when they look at homes. It's layered on top of each other. It provides a little bit extra protection. It looks a little bit better than the three-tab shingles. Three-tab shingles sort of looks like vinyl flooring, it's just one sheet with a printed shingles on top of it.
Exactly. It's very
Um,
flat.
Yeah,
Hmm.
very flat. Doesn't look as good, but people get tempted on these flips, on these house flips, to say, well, you know what? I could save a couple $1,000s with the three-tab shingles instead of the architectural shingles. And when do you make that decision? When do you budget on a cheap roof or go for the architectural shingles? Are you saying it doesn't matter the price point? Always do the architectural shingles.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you very well. This was cutting
Yeah, sure. So is there ever a time or a budget or a project where you would use three-tab shingles over architectural shingles?
Not really. I think so. When you want to invest money, if it's a flip or a rental, it's worth it to have a good quality of shingles. And the difference between one to each other is probably $15. And is no, in the when you finish the project, the cost between those is going to be $400, $300. So it's better you spend a little more money and have better quality of roof, and you look nicer. So
Okay.
I prefer 100 times, and I recommend to all my customers, just put architectural shingles, is look nice, and get value. Your house get more value with that
Yeah,
shingles.
you definitely have curb appeal. You can sell it faster. It lasts
Mhm.
longer. It seems like you take a top-down approach, with the roof, make sure the house is dry, and then you take a bottom-up approach, looking at the foundation. What are some signs of a bad foundation?
One of the signs of the bad foundation is when you go to the house is the uneven floors, actually cracks in the doors, and in the ceiling. So this and when you go upside and go around, you see cracks in the foundation too. If it's a brick house, you can see cracks on the brick on the brick. So this is a sign you have a foundation. Then you know how to address that. How do you know how much money you need to put into? So you need to go over there, grow to the crawl space, get inside, and see what's going on. You know, it can be many different factors: water intrusion, moving of the ground. It can be many different factors. So you have to check or find somebody who can check for you, an inspector, to give you really how much will cost you to change or replace the foundation, you know, or repair the foundation properly. This is what I think so is going to be the best approach to the foundation.
Yeah, so my approach typically is, at least in real estate flips and housing, and you might have a different approach, but is you can solve every problem with the house. It just has a dollar sign attached to it, right? So like you can solve bad foundation, you can fix it, you can bring it back to life, you can resupport it, you can solve a bad roof, you can resolve flooding, bad landscaping. Obviously, it's getting that contractor, someone like you, to come out, look at the property, give you a quote, and then you say, this is too much money, this is a deal breaker, or you renegotiate the price based on this new information. But I never let a condition of a home prevent me from buying it without getting my numbers. And I usually call upon you, Patrick. I always do, to come give me those quotes. Is there a house sort of product, something I'm not thinking about, something that you would say, I would not touch a home that has this problem?
Not really. If the numbers works, you don't have any problems. So for everybody who's going to invest, and if your numbers works and you can make it happen, you can fix anything in the house. Anything can be fixable, but you need to have a a real estimate, with the real numbers, so you make sure you can fix it, and when you sell it, make profit.
Right. So let's talk through those numbers. So you look obviously at the purchase price. Let's say you're doing a flip. And or a BRRRR method, either one. You're buying a purchase. The numbers that you would run is obviously the purchase price, and then you add up all these expenses that the home inspector found or your contractor found, and then how do you decide whether you want to move forward or not at that stage?
Well, I need to see how the market, how the other people are selling their houses. I want to try to see my final product. Okay, if I want to change this house for 2 bedrooms to three bedrooms with one more bathroom, and then so I calculate all these numbers, and then I start checking all these houses around me, how much these people sell the houses. If my numbers works, I can, I will make profit. If my numbers work, I have to work, I have to work, because there's nothing to do over there. But the first thing is you say, okay, I want to change this house. I want to make it bigger. I want to add more square footage. I want to, do a quality renovation, and this is how much money I want to spend. So I purchase this much. I, you know, I, fix it for this much, and then how much I'm gonna sell it. And to able to see how much you're gonna sell it, you need to go around, check the houses, talk to real estate people like you, and say, okay, run me a comparables, with these much bedrooms and these bedrooms, how much I can sell it for. And this is the way to make sure getting your money back.
So yeah, so what I'm hearing you say is basically you run the comps, and then so you're kind of reverse engineering a little bit. You find similar product homes that are obviously at a higher price point, and you say, okay, what does a 4 bedroom look like in this neighborhood? For example, what sort of finishes does it have? Does it have wood floors, vinyl floors? Does it have granite cabinet or countertops? Custom cabinets or not? How much is square footage? And let's say that's selling for 400, 500, $1,000. And then you're looking at the fixer uppers, the 2 bedrooms in there, and saying, okay, let's say I can buy these for $200,000 or 250, and let's add up the new roof, the foundation, adding the extension, and then you sort of get your numbers and you compare, how can I get what I have here to what I see that's selling at a higher price point on the market? Did I get that right?
Yes, of course, yes. It's
Okay, and
exactly
then
what you need to do.
what's that spread that gets you excited? Like I know more money, the different, but like what's that number that, let's say, purchase renovation, total cost all in, and then what you can sell it for. What's the over under on something you will move on and something you won't move on, something that's worth your time and effort?
Everything depends of the timing. You know, how long is this renovations going to take? Usually, my renovations takes between 3 to 4 months, max 5 months. And what I'm looking for is a return of probably between 80 to 100,000. This is this is what I'm looking for when I invest my money and I have it, sitting there for 5 months. You know,
Yeah. So yeah, that's good. So yeah, and for everyone listening here who just did the math, yeah, if you're doing a house in 5 months and you're making $80,000 to $100,000, that's obviously really good money. Um, been doing this for a while. Patrick works faster than most people do on a house flip. I mean, but it's also your full time job. It's Patrick's full time job, and so if you're a new investor, these are sort of the people you're competing with. They can get in. They've got the crews. They've got the experience. They can quote the projects themselves. You can get there. You can be a Patrick. It takes time, right? Obviously, I would imagine, Patrick, like everyone, your first flip, you went much slower. Maybe you got the budget wrong the first time. But now that you're in, went around the House of AC, real estate investing flywheel 12, 15, 20 times, you can walk into a house, basically understand how much it's going to cost you, how long it's going to take. And with that just takes experience. That just takes years of doing this. Very hard for a newbie. Just know everyone's got to get started somewhere. And maybe your first deal, it takes you 8 months and you made $10,000. But if your next deal, takes 7 months and you made $10,000, that's an improvement. Then eventually you're going to get down to Patrick's expertise and you're 4 or 5 months making $80,000, $100,000 a home. Any advice you would sort of give to these newbies that are probably listening, that people are excited about real estate, they just don't know where to start or are kind of nervous?
yes, of course. I think so. Everybody who want to get into this business, you need to have always some money savings. You have to have some money, to back up. But my first flip was my first house, wherever I live. This was my first flip. So I live in my house and I start remodeling my bathrooms, added square footage, you know, new kitchen, new countertops, new painting. And then when I live in this house 2 or 3 years, I move, I sell it. It's completely renovated. I learned many different things. I learned how quality of tile I need to get, the fixture I need to buy, and then I sell it, and I don't have to pay any taxes because it's a capital gain. So I move to a new house, and I start doing the same situation. I buy a remodeling house, and I start working on the house little by little, and then I know exactly how much money I put into it. I have my time to do it. I'm not in a hurry to do it, and then I'm start again. 2 years, I sell the house and purchase another one. I don't have to pay capital gains. So this is for me the best way to do it.
Yes. I love this. So this strategy, if you're not familiar with it, is if you're selling your primary residence, which is what Patrick is explaining, you don't have to pay capital gains on any profit of selling that primary residence as long as you've lived in it 2 of the last 5 years. Now, let me rephrase that. You do have to sell, you do have to pay capital gains if you're married and you made more than $500,000 profit. So if you did that and you did good. But if you have if you're single and you sell your primary residence, it's the first $250,000 are tax free. So just know if you have over $500,000 of equity and you're married, or you've got $250,000 of equity in your house that's through appreciation or remodeling it, and you're single. You're now paying taxes for everything over 250 or over $500,000. So in my mind, that's a sign to go sell your home. $500,000 tax free is like making $1 million a year because with taxes. And so Patrick's made a really good business doing this, avoiding taxes because he's selling and renovating his own primary residence. But 2, you're not up against a clock on time. like you would be on a flip that has carrying costs, that have mortgages that you've got to pay for until you sell that property. It's a vacant property. It could be broken into, your equipment stolen, the stress of working a full-time job, living in your house, and then trying to do the side project. You just put it all into your own house and did the renovation on your own time. And what a way to make windfalls of money every 2 years by selling it. Being someone who's married and trying to pitch this to my wife, I get her to move like every 7 years. So how do you convince your wife that this is the way forward to sell your primary residence and live in a renovation project every couple of years, Patrick?
Well, every time we did a house, we flipped to a beautiful house. So, for example, I start with a small house. I, you know, live 2 years, change it, nicer, sell it. I bought a bigger house. And every time, every 2 years, 2, 3 years, we buy and move to a bigger house. So right now we have a beautiful house, 3,000 square feet house, beautiful yard, and everything is beautiful. You know, every time you do these deals, you put all your money together and buy a better house and a better area. This is the way so you can make the most profit you can. And you, like Alan said, you don't have to be in a hurry to pay everybody, the mortgage, everything, because you live here, you pay your own house, you have time to think about it, what you need to do. You have plenty of time to do the things you need to do, but you don't have to get attached to the house. This is the most important thing. This, you have to have a goal, and the goal is when you finish the house and it's ready, you just sell it. And this is the way to go. Because if you get attached to the house and you start doing the things like, oh, this is my house, I want to paint this my bedroom orange, or my daughter's bedroom green, or then I want to, do crazy things. This becomes your house. And this is going to be a problem in the end, because people is coming to check the house and they don't like that things. They like everything neutral, light colors, neutral things, so.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned this, because I think what a lot of people do is when they, especially living in their own house, renovating their own house, then they want to make it their own. And so they might upgrade the chandelier or the tile because they like it and they want something nice for themselves. But what I'm hearing you say is that every decision is with the sale in mind 2 years down the road. So we're going to keep it neutral. We're going to cast a wide net to buyers. So we're not going to make it too personal, just our family. And we have a reasonable budget, because we're not going to spend a lot of money on ourselves, because this is not our full-time, long-term house. We're going to buy a new house, and it's going to give us more money to buy a better house in 2 years.
Exactly.
I love that. And so I think the emotional, not being emotionally attached to it is definitely going to go a long way. I skipped over. You first said the most important thing is location. So what does location to you mean to you when you're looking for a house to renovate, to live in, or to not to even just flip?
Well, the location is important because you have to have backups. If you go purchase a house and then you remodel the house and it's ready to go, and if for any reason you cannot sell this house, you have to able to rent it. And if you, for example, don't want to rent it, you can put in Airbnb. So you have more multiple options to do it. You have nice schools. This is something you have to think about it before you get a house. No, the location. Location is important, and the flexibility of the house to be able to rent it, to flip it, to do Airbnb, to do many different things with that.
Yes, yes, I preach this all the time. It's all about your exit plans. This definitely reduces risk, especially in a flip, because when you're doing a flip, you're doing a major renovation. It's money out the door, because it's expensive to buy a house and it's vacant and you're doing all the work. And your golden plan might be, hey, in 5 months I'm going to renovate it, but a lot can happen in the real estate market in 5 months. Countries can go to war, stock market can crash, presidents can change, markets can really swing within 5 months. And so If you're not getting the comps that you want, or the market's just cooled for whatever reason, then you're stuck with a beautiful empty home. So I like that you have multiple exits, and I've seen you do this. You've taken a property that you wanted to flip and you turned it into a rental, and then when that rental happens, it seems to turn into a BRRRR method, which basically means you can go refinance, um, and pull out money on that house, which probably which is also tax free, and then you can rent it, and you're getting some cash flow as well. And from it seems like you've turned some of these into really good cash flowing properties. Um, do you tend to go into your properties wanting to sell it at the end, or wanting to rent it out and do a cash out refi and repeat, or does it just depend on the property and the timing? How do you make that decision?
Well, always I like the refi. I think so. It's a very good options when you have an equity in the house. Um, and then the most important thing is you keep the house, and the house get appreciated every year. So every year the value is going to go up. And in the future, if you want to sell the house, usually the people who live there buy the house, the tenant. So I like a lot this kind of a scenario to buy, refinance, and hold it for a while, and then in the future, probably 5 years, sell it and buy more inventory.
Right, right. Yeah. I always like to redeploy that money. But yeah, so your two strategies seems to be tax avoiding strategies: living in the property, selling a property that you lived in as your primary residence. And that's just 2 of the 5 years. So you could live in a primary residence for 2 years, move out, rent it out for 2 years, 2.5 years, and then sell it. And that's still tax free. And that's what I did with a few of my properties when I lived in Brooklyn, New York. Um, wasn't sure if I wanted to have them as rentals or sell them. I just knew owning Brooklyn real estate was a good move. So I kept them. I lived in them for 2 years, moved back to Atlanta, rented them out for 2.5 years, and then the market just boomed, and I was able to sell them, and I made cash flow in between, and didn't have to pay taxes on it. So that's a wise move if you're in that situation, because a lot of times people want to know, should I sell my primary residence or rent it out? Well, you got a 3 year window to figure it out. At least try renting it and see what happens. Now, the catch is, typically I say your primary residence doesn't make a good rental, because you're buying in a property, because you're making emotional decisions when you bought that property going in, which is what you avoid, Patrick. You're not moving in saying, oh, I'm going to build memories here. I'm going to have Thanksgiving dinner with my family for the next 20 years. My kids are going to graduate from college and come home with their boyfriends and whatnot. And, we're going to have Christmas together, which is what people seem to think when they're buying a primary residence. You're going in strictly as, what's what's my exit plan in 2 years? Worst case scenario, I've built my family a beautiful home. We're going to live in it until the real estate market changes. So I think that's kudos to you to having that discipline. And I know your wife's very involved in your business as well, and she's good at, how do you get her involved? Because I see that she sometimes gets really involved in the designing. Is that something that she's brought to the table, something you've asked her to kind of get involved, so this is more of a family business than just you making all the decisions?
Of course, no, I don't make all the decisions. We love to work together, and the challenge is when we purchase a house, um, I give it all the options, to do all the colors in the house, she's buying all the fixtures, she's buying everything online. Actually, online is the best way to get all these bulbs, fixtures, faucets, and everything, because it's very, very cheap, and yeah, and it's better for your wife, so you're married, to do these kind of things, because they feel appreciated when you let it, uh, you know choose different colors, choose different fixtures, and everything else. They are involved 100% in this kind of remodeling. And all my remodelings, I do all the constructions, and all the colors is coming from my wife. Color, styles, vanity fixtures, vanities, everything is coming from her. You told me, you need to get this, you need to get that. This is a better color. This is not a good color. The floor, we need to stain in this color. So And I've been doing this for a while, so she knows exactly what you need to do. She knows what the people wanted. She knows what the customers want to look at it, and we always are happy with the final result. You know.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, she does. You guys as a team do a great job. Let's talk about sort of the larger scale. What sort of supply chain issues are you running into? What the costs are going up? Should people wait to do a flip? Should they just plow through and work it out? Because I know there's wildly swings in quotes coming in from contractors, timelines, permitting, appliances, cost of sheetrock. Can you just sort of share what you're seeing and what you would recommend with all this stuff happening right now?
Yes, of course. Everything is going up. The cost of the gas is going up, so everything else is going up. The lumber is going up. The appliances is, you have to wait 3, 4 months. The windows too, the doors too. So uh, I think so. Is no way to tell what is going to happen in 6 months. So when you need to do it, just do it. Just is order your things with time. So for example, your appliance order with time, your cabinets, your windows. So everything can move faster because if you wait until you need it, it's not going to work. You know, everybody need to have all these supplies so we can work faster. So for me, if you want to rebuild, do a new construction or remodeling, keep in mind what do you want? Okay, you want a gas stove, you want a refrigerator, double door, you want microwave, dishwasher, everything. Purchase it, buy it, you have it, rent the storage, put it there, keep it there. When you need it, just take it out, and so the things move faster. If not, you want to wait for a long time.
Yeah, right. I sort of in the same mindset. If just doing it is more important than the perfect timing, because no one has a crystal ball. No one knows if it's going to be the best timing. It could get cheaper in the future. It could also get more expensive in the future. But the time that you're just sitting there waiting, not getting real estate experience, not getting flipping experience, not learning who has the best appliances and the best websites to get your tile off of, like that, you're just slowing down your own progress. And to me, time is money, and the most expensive money really is just waiting on the sidelines, waiting for the perfect market, waiting for the best interest rate, waiting best financing terms, waiting for the best house to come on the market. I'm sort of, uh, not don't be picky, and just get moving, just get that flywheel spinning around. And you're I like working with you, because when you at least house hunting, when you made a decision, hey, I want to buy a house, you have made that decision, and you're looking every single day until you buy a house, and you're like, any of these three will work because I can make my numbers work. Let's just put in offers. Hopefully we can get one of these three. Sometimes we get two out of three, and you're just as happy. So I think that waiting and being picky kind of really slows people down in this business.
Exactly. You have to keep moving. You have to keep looking. You find something, just spend the money, make it work. Uh, all the people who work in the construction business are very, very busy right now. It's a, you know, and everybody needs to move faster. And the way to move faster, we have all the materials there. This is the only way to move faster. If you have the tile, you have the faucets, you have the vanities, you have everything there. We go in, we do the project, and we move, and we can move faster than than you have to go over there. Oh no, my faucet is coming in 3 days. We don't like to come back. We like to go over there, finish the product, give you your product, and bye bye. See you later. We cannot. We If we have to come back, it's going to be more time for us. And it's going to be more money for you. So the best way is know exactly what you want. If you're gonna find this tile, go for another one. If you're gonna buy this faucet, go for another one. It is 300, 500 types of tile, 300 types of faucets, vanities, vanity lights. Everything is a different. Is a lot.
Right, right. Yeah. So this will slow down every project for sure. When someone says, you know, hey, my tiler is going to be there Wednesday, and you haven't picked out your tile yet, and Wednesday comes along, who knows when that Tyler can come back to your project, because that Tyler's doing 10 other homes, right? So
Hmm.
you may have to wait 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 10 weeks for that Tyler to come back around and say, okay, now I'm ready for you again. And if you're waiting on the Tyler, then the painter who's got to wait for the tile guy to finish, then the painter can't stop. And you're just adding to your project. So I like
Yes,
that
adding
advice where you're
time.
basically saying you have all your materials as fast as possible when you need them. And in some ways, don't be picky. Don't get the back ordered fancy stuff, because it's going to cost you way more on the delays. You can also change your tile, when the house is done, and in a couple of years if you really don't love the tile. But let's just get most of the stuff done so the painter can get in, they can put the cabinets in, things like that. Um,
Exactly. Hmm.
so people who want a great contractor like you, Patrick, what advice do you say for people who maybe looking for a contractor? This is their first flip, their first renovation. What are the questions that they should ask? How do they size up what makes a good contractor?
Well, this is different factors. How long you be in the business, how many projects you know you have in your portfolio. If you work only for you or you work for somebody else, and all these kind of questions, about it. There are many different contractors here in the area, and there are many different prices for each contractor. Some contractors have a very high prices, low prices, and everything else. And you have to wonder why this contractor is so cheap and why this contractor is so high. You have to think about it. And one of the things you need to know is when you have a company like my company, and we have people over there, we have to give the 100% our product to satisfy our customers. If you call 10 times, we want to answer you 10 times, and if you have any problems, we want to go back. So this is why the prices are different. When you have a contractor, they only come with the band without any kind of logo, and they go to do a work for you, and something comes wrong and you call, he's not going to pick up the phone for you. He already finished, you already pay him, see you later. He's not going to come back anymore. This is why sometimes pay more is better, because you are sure, 100% sure, these contractors will come back for you to repair whatever happened.
Right, right. Yeah, I love that, because the follow up is important. Because a lot of contractors, they get their name, hey, I got my check, and then they'll never see them again, and you never, get a return fix, and it could be something minor or some part that hasn't arrived yet. They're supposed to come back, and you'll just never see that person again. Um, so I would imagine to find out whether a contractor does that or not is to get referrals and recommendations, follow up, get some, ask a contractor for some referrals that you can call and fact check these sort of things. Also seeing the quality of work and past projects. Do you prefer a contractor that does his or her own remodeling and not just for clients as well?
Uh, no,
Okay,
it,
it doesn't
it
matter.
doesn't matter really.
Okay.
you know the most important is the quality of the work, and the most important thing is be present. You have to be there, because the customers have many different questions. you know
Right.
Everybody have a different questions. you know how my tile is going to be. What do you think about this wall? Can we remove this wall? It's going to look better. They have a many different questions, and you have to be there to give it the best approach, the best ideas you can have. Doesn't mean they want to follow your ideas, but they can have an extra idea. And you can say, you can move this wall here, you can open the kitchen is going to look nicer, open areas. You can move the bathroom in a certain way so that it looks much better, because you see a lot of houses. This is my work too. I remodel so many houses, so I can tell what the house needs to look nice, and to make this a good flip or a good renovation. And it's not only change style. It's sometimes move things around and make this more pretty, and it's more open. For the example, the kitchen, you know, make it open, put an island there, a very nice countertop with quartz, a nice faucet. It doesn't mean you want to spend a lot of money, but whatever you spend there, your money will be returned when you sell this house. This is for sure.
And so you've mentioned multiple times, and I say the same, just look at the quality of the work. But someone who might be new to this might not recognize good quality. What are some sure signs of quality work, or maybe even sure signs of terrible work?
Well, to do that, you have to go over there, and every time it's a house in the market close to you, go over there, check it out. Check how the house look. Check how the floors look. You know how the tile work. If the tile work is neat, is even. You know how is the vanity installation, the faucet work. All these details, everything you have to check. And this is coming with going in the different houses. Going every week to two, three houses that are in the market and check the project, how the people do the work, how the people change the houses, how the people make it better. And this is the way to learn, the way to learn how everything is look, you know. Uh, and then when you know exactly what do you want, apply it in your house, apply it in your own bedroom, apply it in your remodeling, apply it in your mother house if she want to remodeling, in your sister house if she want to remodeling. Be there with her, as teach whatever you learn and tell her whatever you think, and then you see how this person works, and you can see exactly if it did a good work or not.
No, I love that. I use the same method when I was trying to learn real estate. I went to every single open house in my neighborhood. Um, I was 21 years old, didn't know anything about real estate, trying to teach myself. And what I realized is by going to every single open house, writing down the prices that they were asking, following up, seeing what they sold for later, I earned confidence in myself to recognize value, what was getting sold quickly, what it looked like. Was it there's paint on the light switches or not on accident? Those little tiny details kind of thing really seem to affect a lot of price. So typically, the person that would leave little paint swabs on the light switch would not make any other minor details, right? The person who would make sure everything is picture perfect as down to the light switches, they basically had the same eye and OCD on the straightness of the cabinets and the quality of the fixtures and the faucets. And what I learned, like, I tell this to my clients: go see 5 homes in the neighborhoods you want to buy and your price points you want to buy. You will feel like an expert. You're going to see what things are going to sell for, what they're asking for. And you're going to come out of those showings and you're going to say, I think this one's overpriced. Or, hey, if that house across the street had an extra bathroom added off the back, it would probably be worth $50,000 more, just like this house. That's the only difference that I can see. And you start recognizing these opportunities. You start recognizing these ways to make money, to find gold into every single property. And once I started doing that and guessing what it would sell for and why it was priced that way, and then I'd look at the data a couple weeks or months later, depending on how long it sold, I I felt like I could tell the future, and that's when I was like, okay, I can do this as a real estate investor. This is what I need to do to this home to get this amount of value out of it. And I think that's what you're saying as well is look at the other homes in the neighborhood, the finished products in the neighborhood that your flip is in, and you can kind of see what's how much meat is on the bone is what they say in our world, and that meat is the dollars, the delta between purchase, renovation costs, and the final sale price as well.
Exactly. Hmm.
So what's next for you, Patrick? What are your goals and ambitions in the real estate investing world?
Well, we keep flipping, we keep growing. We try to buy more houses this year to flip. Maybe go to multifamily business and maybe buy a quadruplex or maybe a triplex. I do the same. Just renovate it, rent it. Refi, get another one, and just keep rolling, and make it happen. This is only the only way to do this business is Just go over there and look bunch of houses, look go inside of the houses and make a decision. And as soon as you do one, everything is going to be more easier for you. This is going to be, the first one is always the hardest one. And then you want to start rolling up and make it happen. But because you know your numbers, you know what you need to do, you know everything, and it's going to be easy and it's going to be faster. So don't be afraid. Just have savings for sure, and find a house you like, find a house you think has potential, and just get it, buy it, and make a flip or make a rent, and everything is going to work out great because we are in a good market, and I think so. It's money for everybody.
Yeah. And so, how much savings would you say someone needs on their first flip? Just like emergency cash on hand?
Yes, probably 10 to 15,000, just in case if the flip doesn't go well. You say the contractor told you it's going to be 3 months, and you need 2 more months. You have 2 more months to pay your mortgage, and you count with this money. Or if in case is they open the wall and something is not right, you have a termite problems or something like that, you're able to have this cash over there you know to fix whatever is the problem. Hmm.
Yeah, I think the most expensive surprise I've ever had was like $13,000 once I started doing a flip. So I think if you have that $10,000 to $15,000 range saved up, you're covered. Like you said, a brand new roof, that's not going to be a surprise for you.
Hmm.
But if in case it is, that's $6,000 to $8,000, at least in our market in Atlanta. New foundation, that was my expensive. They did some digging, opened up some walls. We had to re-support it. It cost me $13,000. Surprise, I didn't budget for. And but I had that savings to kind of cover me and get me to the finish line. I'm trying to think what would be another expensive mold or asbestos removal. That's usually going to be under $13,000 if you ever come across that. And that probably won't be a surprise, but if it is, um, and new electrical wiring, that's $15,000 or less as well cost. So yeah, I think if you've got that, you could get in trouble if there's two, three surprises, but rarely there are. You pretty much know what you're in for. Um,
Exactly. Hmm. So you
so
have to,
lastly, what's that?
yeah, you have to keep, your eyes open, in every house you go, and try to see exactly what they need to. And then you say, okay, the AC is not too old. Okay, we don't need to replace the AC. So, and then you just go over there and try to see the purpose of the house, to if the house is going to rent it or you want to flip it. If you want to rent it, you have to have a different approach to be flipped. you know so, but the only thing for both, or rent it or flip it, is the roof. It doesn't matter where you going, you have to change the roof for a new roof. you know if you
Right.
need
And
to.
every roof, even the best roofs with architectural shingles, they're going to last 15, 20 years. So you got a budget for roof replacement, especially if you have a
Exactly.
long-term rental
Hmm.
property. Um, so I want to leave you with this. A sponsor of our show is Jasmine Mortgage Team, and I know you've used her a few occasions. Is that someone you'd recommend and use often as well?
Of
Tell
course.
others.
Yes, I close a lot of deals with Jasmine. uh, Excellent customer service. 100 is, you go over there and you feel like home, and they treat you very well, and everything is so fast. You don't have any problems. You don't have to follow up you know she's on top of everything. 100% recommended.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. I say the same, but I like to get other people to get to be their honest feedback. And I found her by recommending her, just like I've recommended you to folks. And I just constantly get positive feedback. So that makes me look good by you guys making me look good. So yeah, Patrick, you've made me look good quite often. So thank you for that. How can people get in touch with you?
Well, we have a website. Is www.totalconstructionandremodeling.com. You can check it out over there. We have our office number. You can call us anytime. Leave a message. My wife is going to answer the phone. You want to leave your phone number. We have our sales, roofing sales associate. His name is Paul Stain. He is a pro in all roofing in construction, and he do a lot of commercial roofing. So we have everything set up for you. So if you need any help, we are able to help you in anything we can. You know.
That's right. Patrick Vincent's Total Construction and Remodeling. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for working on all my homes, on my clients' homes. Everyone loves you. And you're that contractor you described. You show up. If it's not right, if it's not fixed, you come back to fix it, which is great. It just shows you stand by your work. You give good, honest quotes. You stick to your quotes. And thank you for making me successful, Patrick, with all and making me look good. So I look forward to doing more and more work with you. And thanks for joining us on the House of AC. Would love to have you back in the future.
Thank you so much, Adam.
All right. Thanks, guys. Please follow at the House of AC on all social media channels. And thanks for tuning in.